I recorded like 10 minutes of footage and realized that I wasn't actually recording. I was just talking to myself in a room. So there's that. Sync. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pretty Blue Eyes. Today I'm gonna talk about my various autistic blunders that occurred during my time in college. To start with, I'm gonna talk about the time that I tried to show off my shitty Japanese skills in a class that actually had Japanese transfer students. Alright, so basically I was at a lecture, and the lecturer was talking about like various grammatical features that various different languages have, and he was talking about articles, I think, and basically mentioned the phrase "a good girl," and he was remarking about how like articles aren't common in a lot of languages, and that it's part of what makes the English language unique. And it was like perhaps some of you could translate the phrase into Japanese. I thought he was like talking to the whole crowd. I thought he was trying to give us a challenge. Like, I bet you could translate Japanese because you're Korean studies students. And I was like, yeah, bitch, we'll check this shit out. So I raised my goddamn hand, and I'm just like, "Utsukushi onna," which means beautiful woman, which is not synonymous with pretty girl. And basically he was surprised, and the reason as to why he was surprised was because he was actually asking the students in the back of the class, the Japanese transfer students in the back of the class, to answer him, not some fucking random weeaboo. And he then asked me to repeat what I said, and I panicked. I didn't realize that we actually had Japanese students in the class, and I didn't want to embarrass myself, so I changed it. I didn't say "utsukushi onna," I said "kirei na onna." It still means beautiful woman. So I fucked up again, and one of the Japanese students was like, "yoi onna," which, I mean, yeah, that's the correct answer. And I was just like, fuck, oh my god, I can't believe this shit. I have never felt more of a weeb in my entire life. That was abysmal. That was the worst experience of my college. That was one of the worst experiences for me in college. I genuinely was upset about it for weeks. The next little incident I'm gonna talk about is my experience at the Korean Culture Fair. Basically, what I was studying in college was English philology and Korean studies, and the university I was going to had it had various like Korean cultural events, cultural fairs and such, where you could learn about Korean culture. Let me adjust my little headband there real quick. Alright. And I went to one of those events, and it was kind of awkward. Like, you gotta realize I'm not sociable. So essentially, for the entire event, I was just like standing at the back of the crowd, just like, I am enjoying this event. Like, I didn't talk to anyone. I was just standing around. Like, why would I want to talk to someone? It's not like human relationships are an important part of life. But that wasn't the big blunder. The big blunder of the night was that a really cute, and actually really, like, not even cute, just like straight up beautiful, like idol level Korean girl was actually like interested in me, which was the strangest experience in my life. Like, look at me. Okay, maybe I am a little pretty, but I'm also kind of ugly. Like, I'm pretty ugly. Like, I'm ugly pretty, but I'm also pretty ugly. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I was not prepared for this whatsoever. I'm gonna go into detail a little bit. We're writing on shirts using Hangul, the Korean script. It was like a little mini calligraphy class. So basically, I picked up a shirt and I moved it to one of the calligraphy stations, and I was kind of confused as to which tools I was supposed to use, because like I don't know, it wasn't made clear. It wasn't made entirely clear. So I asked one of the Koreans supervising the event. He didn't understand me, but this girl, she butts in and she's like, "Oh yeah, you could use this, like, of course." And so like I'm like, cool. So I start painting on the shirt. All right, what I just wrote there, I write it on the shirt. I finish it, And then I'm just sort of standing around, holding the shirt, waiting for it to dry out. And this girl approaches me, and she's like, "What did you write on your shirt?" And I'm just like, I wrote this." And she's like, "I don't know what this is," and I'm just like, "Bitch, you don't know who the fucking nah. I'm just playing. Like basically, I'm just like, oh, it's like a singer's name. It's like a Korean singer." And she's like, "Oh, cool." Then we just kind of stood there for a minute, and she was kind of smiling at me, like waiting for me to continue a conversation, but I didn't. I was just standing there, like, yeah, yes, singer, yeah, that's what it is. So the shirt dried up then, and I put it in my backpack. And the next activity in the whole fair was a food tasting, a Korean food tasting. So basically, I got some food. I got some little like Korean sushi, something like that. And like all the seated places were occupied, so we sort of stood around while I was eating it. And this girl approaches me again, and she's like, "Do you like the food?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's delicious. I love it." And she was like really happy to hear that. And so like I kind of understood that this was like an opportunity to initiate a conversation. So I tried to start a conversation. I was like, "Tell me, I always forget, like, how do you say thank you in Korean?" I knew that there's two ways to say thank you in Korean. One is 고맙습니다, and the other is 감사합니다. And I asked her which one was correct, and then she explained that I could use both in different situations. But the conversation didn't evolve past that. Like, I mean, she was genuinely interested. Maybe I'm just understating it in my story, but I just didn't like talk to her. I was just locked up, like, holy fuck. Someone who's extremely attractive is talking to me right now. Man, I still miss you. Girl. What a fucking sad day that was. The next story comes from a Korean lecture that we had. This is once again me trying to show off my non-existent Japanese skills. Basically, we're learning a lot of vocabulary in this one lecture. And we learned the word for bag, which is kabang. And the teacher said something along the lines of, like, if you study Japanese, you'll probably know that it's like the Japanese also use the same word for bag. And I was like, "Oh, actually, it's pronounced slightly different." And she was just like, "Oh, alright, how is it pronounced?" And I just pronounced it as kaban, pretty much the exact same way that the Korean version is pronounced. Everyone was just kind of confused and looking at me like, "What? It sounds the same. Like, why did you bring this up?" So I tell the teacher, "Oh, wait, like, maybe my pronunciation wasn't that perfect, like, but there is a difference." Some other student was like, "Hey, you faggot, don't fucking say it if your pronunciation sucks." And I was put in my place, and I was so fucking silent. So silent throughout the entire lecture. Goddamn. The silence was deafening. The silence was like that of 1,000 dead galaxies. The last of my blunders that I'm going to talk about for today is it's related to my singing practice. While I was at college, despite living in a dorm room, I was still practicing singing every single day, and the way I did that was by going into the forest, finding like a remote location, and just singing really fucking loud. And you gotta realize, like, I'm a shitty singer. I'm genuinely just a shitty singer. So it sounds fucking horrible. It sounds terrifying. If I was walking through the woods and I heard someone like wailing as loud as I did and as off pitch as I did, I would be mortified. I tried to select like a remote location, but every once in a while I'd still get like a few people like jogging or like walking their dog, and they would walk past me and like give me like weird looks. Multiple people like shouted out like, "Why are you singing, you fucking fan?" One person like walked up to me as I was singing. I didn't really notice him, so I came up and he was like, "Are you the one singing here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm obviously singing here. You just snuck up on me." But basically, yeah, I consider screaming in a forest to be kind of autistic. I don't know, you be the judge. Tell me in the comment section